The United States of America is concerned, and again, following Prime Minister Narendra Modi's recent trip to Russia, the United States has once again expressed concerns over India's ties with Russia, or specifically with Vladimir Putin. The key words here, Russia-Ukraine war. So let's first hear what did the US State Department's Matthew Miller actually said.
We would urge India, as we do any country when it engages with Russia, to make clear that any resolution to the conflict in Ukraine needs to be one that respects the UN Charter, that respects Ukraine's territorial integrity, Ukraine's sovereignty.
And just a day before he said this, Miller had also said that India is a strategic partner with the USA. There is always a full and frank dialogue, and that includes our concerns about their relationship with Russia. The question here is that India is an independent nation, so why wouldn't it have its own constructive diplomacy and its own strategies irrespective of what the Western nations expect India to do? And even before there was any preaching or lectures coming from the Western world, Prime Minister Narendra Modi already had made two important statements about the war and against terrorism.
जब मॉस्को में आतंकवादी घटनाएं घटी, दागिस्तान में आकर आतंकवाद की घटनाएं घटी, उसका दर्द कितना गहरा होगा इसकी मैं कल्पना करता हूं और मैं हर प्रकार के आतंकवाद की घोर निंदा करता हूं। मैं ये भी जानता हूं कि युद्ध के मैदान में समाधान संभव नहीं होते। बम, बंदूक और गोलियों के बीच समाधान और शांति वार्ताएं सफल नहीं होती हैं और हमने वार्ता के माध्यम से ही शांति के रास्ते अपनाने होंगे।
But then Mr. Garcetti jumped in. America's ambassador Eric Garcetti gave out a poignant message regarding the ongoing conflict in Ukraine and the global implications of strategic alliances, referring also to India.
This relationship in Washington is a special one indeed. It is very wide, but as I also remind my Indian friends, while it is wide and it is deeper than it's ever been, it is not yet deep enough. That if we take it for granted from the Indian side towards America, I'll fight a lot of defensive battles trying to help this relationship ahead.
But do you know what is very interesting here? Prime Minister Modi met Vladimir Putin because Russia has been a long-time friend and an ally, and Prime Minister Modi and Vladimir Putin also share a cordial relationship. But India, or Indian Prime Minister, also just about a month ago met Volodymyr Zelensky, Ukraine's president, in the month of June on the sidelines of the G summit. So whether you call it constructive diplomacy or a balancing act, India has always maintained that it is for peace and solution, and anything that is required for India to do, it will jump in. Because frankly, it is not our war, and India has nothing to do really with Russia-Ukraine's border issues. Remember that India has historically also maintained a policy of strategic autonomy, balancing its relationship with various global powers. So the decision to continue meetings with Russia despite Western nations' pressure aligns with this policy. India values its long-standing ties with Russia. It's rooted in historical, defense and economic cooperation. So whether it's the former USSR or now Russia, India has always had good ties. This is irrespective of the governments who have been in power in India. The relationship has included advanced military equipment, joint military exercises and development of defense technology. For India, Russia is one of the biggest arms suppliers, with defense deals including the S-400 missile defense system, Sukhoi fighter jets or the nuclear submarines. All of this has been a part of the discussion. And India also remembers that at a time when Western nations did not come to its support, specifically against Pakistan, it was primarily Russia. Whether it's oil and gas issues, and this really bothers the USA. The two countries have explored opportunities in nuclear energy and renewable resources now as well. Now, one of the big flashpoints for India have been the oil and gas. Remember that there have been significant quantities of oil and gas imports that India has been in relationship with Russia with. There's also been nuclear energy and renewable sources discussions that have been on. Why this was a big issue was, remember, the Western nations wanted India to back out from buying discounted oil and gas during the war. But India did not have many options and decided to stand for its national interests. So Russia and India have been two countries that want to achieve a mutual trade volume to exceed a whopping $100 billion by 2030. Both the countries aim to develop a bilateral settlement system using national currencies now, which will be digital financial instruments, and that was also recently discussed this time. So there is defense, oil and gas and other trade issues. But between India and Russia, primarily there is the cultural friendship, the people-to-people connect. And that is what helped India this time when there were massive concerns of some Indians who had grievances that they were being deployed on the frontiers during the war. It was because of Indian Prime Minister mentioning it to a friend and ally that these Indians will now be able to return home and safe. So to my friends in the West, just like your nation's leadership care about your people's interests, India, which is now a strong, stable economy, wants to make decisions based on its own national interest and long-term strategic goals. What exactly is wrong with it? And remember that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has consistently advocated for peace and diplomacy in resolving the Russia-Ukraine conflict or the Israel-Hamas war issue. It's also important to understand here why possibly the reactions came so strong from the USA or even from Volodymyr Zelensky, who called it a disappointment to see the hug between Prime Minister Modi and Vladimir Putin. It was because this visit between India and Russia coincided with the NATO summit. But here's what was interesting in case you did not notice. Prime Minister Modi's message, specifically with regard to a conflict or a terror attack, is how the consequences fall on children. Prime Minister mentioned that the sight of dead children from any war is unbearable. Was that also a signal towards the deadly attack on a children's hospital in Kyiv?
जब मासूम बच्चों की कत्ल होती है, मासूम बच्चों को मरते हुए देखते हैं, तब हृदय छलनी हो जाता है और वो दर्द बहुत भयानक होता है.
And thereby also sending out a message to a friend and ally that this war should not go on. So isn't it fair that India would want to focus on its friends and allies? It does not want to pick a war it has nothing to do with. So the fact is that India is well within its rights to keep its friendship and allies, but also give out a statement, as it has always done, against terrorism and on the ongoing war situations, because eventually it affects innocent human beings. So perhaps India not opting to take a direct, blatant side here is because, again I reiterate, India has nothing to do with this war. And that is in alignment with its independent foreign policy that always has been. May peace prevail, may wars and conflict come to an end. And who knows this better than India, which has always suffered from terrorism from its border nations. On that note, thank you for watching this episode of Homeland. Stay tuned and you can track other episodes as well on Homeland page.